Alberta, I'm so happy to see you. And of course, since we are live, I would like to welcome everyone, literally all of you that joined our today's wonderful session. Despite of the time, the time zone that you are in, I would like to say hello, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or I don't know, maybe it's the middle of your night. We don't know. Tell us. We will be watching the chat. So wherever you come from, we are saying together with Alberta and with the whole Elephant AI team, we are saying hello. With a boost of energy, we will be discussing AI because lately, the last few days were super emotional regarding, actually, we can use the word emotional, right? It was a drama. It still is. We are watching it like a good TV series. What's happening in the world of AI, especially in the world of OpenAI and Microsoft, actually. So we will be discussing this today, but this will not be our main topic of our today's evening. We will be discussing together with Alberta what you can do as managers, as people in your organizations to make the most of AI. And we are here today to share with you our experience. Me myself, I have more than 7 years of experience in AI. I built several companies. I will tell you about that later. And Alberto, oh my gosh, where should I start? He's a book author. He's head of data science at Nexi, one of the largest financial organizations and companies in Europe. He's a Kaggle Grandmaster. He's also an academic lecturer. So come on, he has like all the knowledge that we need for tonight. And we will be, of course, discussing not only technical aspects, but mostly business ones. So how to actually boost your career, how to boost your career in terms of AI, because we know that we are looking for this particular aspect. So, Alberto, welcome.
Thank you, Maria, for having me here tonight, at least tonight in Italy, because I'm connecting from Milan. It's really a pleasure, and I'm also looking forward to receiving questions from the audience, because I have some experience, actually quite a few years of experience in AI, in data science as well, in a large organization, and as well as in competitions of machine learning, practitioners. And I'm really happy to be able to share my experiences with you.
Wonderful. Great to have you here. Alberto is one of my absolutely favorite speakers because not only he has knowledge, experience, but also he can deliver what he wants to in a nice and clear way what he wants to say. I mean, like, he's not a standard data scientist. He's a brilliant data scientist who also can speak business language. Okay, guys, so let's move on. We have a presentation for you tonight. We have a lot of surprises, a lot of information, and a lot of time for you. So we are here basically together with Alberto and with the whole Elephant AI team to support you tonight in your career. Let's move on then. And I will start sharing my screen with a couple of slides that we have prepared for you tonight. So I hope that you can see that. I think you can. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So yes, today we will be talking about AI for managers, what's in it for me, how to make the most of AI, and to boost your experience with AI. How does it work? You already have a lot of experience in business. Now let's add AI to that and let's make it happen. So this is the concept. So first assumption is that all the building blocks are already available. So we are not struggling to come up with the most brilliant technology. The most brilliant technology is already here. So the task is to use the building blocks that are already available. And the problem that we notice, that we see around us, is in all the projects, almost 100 of projects, AI projects that we delivered. Actually, I delivered, but also, of course, Alberto, because we discussed it previously, is the lack of creativity in AI applications, not the tools, nor the data. This is not the problem anymore. The problem is that the business or people inside business, also data scientists, they don't know what they want. So, of course, we will help you with that tonight. We will share, again, our experience with our best knowledge and a lot of energy. Energy from Milan, from Italy, from Alberto. He already said where he is now, and let me once again introduce him to you. He's a head of data science at Nexi, as I said, one of the largest financial organizations in Europe. He's a Kaggle grandmaster, very well renowned. He's a book author. The book, the latest book of his and Stefano Gatti, you can see on the right. In the chat, we'll share with you a link to this book. And also, he's an academic teacher, of course, teaching AI and data science. Me, myself, I come originally from Poland. However, I live in Toronto. But tonight, I'm streaming to you from Dubai. It's very hot. As you can see, I'm not wearing any jacket because it's 30 degrees outside, and I'm not using air conditioning tonight. And actually, we are here to help you with your AI questions tonight. So if you have any, please do share them on chat, and we'll come back to them later on, and we will answer. We promise we will answer all of them. Just ask them. Okay, so the only task for you tonight is to ask the questions. Think what you find inspiring, or maybe what you consider is not coherent somehow, right? So ask the questions about it as well. So when we are talking about the AI world, we absolutely agree that the race is on. So it's many things are happening at the same time, and for many companies, it will be a trampoline. Not only for companies. Look at that. Nearly half of the Fortune 500 companies was created in times of economic stress. It means times like here, times like now. And actually, also, this is a brilliant trampoline for everyone inside the organization who wants to go up in the and actually wants to use AI for their benefit in their career, inside the organization or outside of organization. And when we see the numbers, these are crazy numbers. OpenAI engineers up to $1 million per year, prompt engineers $300,000 per year. A lot of money is here. And if someone tells me there is no money anymore for AI startups, Maria, I beg to differ, because last week Kai Fu Lee received $1 billion for his new open source model for, of course, inside LLMs. About LLMs, we will be talking a lot tonight, so we'll come back to this in a moment. However, in my opinion, the world of AI has changed on 30th of November 2022, and but it has changed a lot lately also. Less than a week ago, actually more than a week ago, there was a conference, the first Dev Day conference by OpenAI. We will not be watching it tonight, of course. This is not the purpose. But what they have published is not only their new LLMs and new language models, but also they gave us something, an agent with which we can build our own chatbots and our own applications without a single line of code. And it's called GPTs. So you can build your own application finally, and what's absolutely significant, you can sell it through the store that will be opened by OpenAI. So actually, and you have a month for that. So you can come up with a brilliant idea and start actually selling it. So the GPTs that we are talking about can be about anything, and this is the key element right now of AI potential. And if we are talking about the store, finally there will be one store where we can buy AI solutions. Look at that. Apple has grown its store in the last years and has made a lot of money on that. So it's and actually a lot of people as well. So this is an amazing opportunity for all of us to actually start building and start selling our own applications. This week, actually today, Runway, I will tell you what Runway is in a moment. They announced that they are creating the first in the world TV. So they have created a GenAI TV, and they will be streaming videos like that. This is the latest achievement of this is the latest release of Runway. Look at that. You are a brush. You're using a brush to make the picture make the picture move. I know that you would like to see additional videos by Runway. We'll share with you the link in a moment. But what I want to tell you is that the world is changing so fast right now, and with the TV, we will be able to create with just simple prompts. We will be able, in smart tools, of course, we will be able to create our own movies that we will be able to stream through the TV that is happening right now. And I promise that I would comment also on what's going on with OpenAI. And actually, I like this quote saying it is like watching the Kardashians, but for geeks. So for all of us who are in AI, what has happened, you probably know. Sam Altman, CEO of AI, was released from the company. Greg Brockman, the head of solutions, he decided to resign as well. Mira as well. Ilya, who actually got Sam Altman fired, then he regretted that. He said that he would resign from his position as well. We have a new CEO. Everything has happened. It has been going on since Friday. We are talking about the last 4 or 5 days, and it's happening. Like we are watching what's going on Twitter, what's going on OpenAI, and what has happened with a lot of tweets, guys. We know that who fired whom, they are leaving. What's going on right now? Ilya is saying yes, he's regretting that. And what has happened? Satya Nadella, so CEO of Microsoft, he's saying, okay, no worries, guys, you have a place here with Microsoft. By the way, you probably know that OpenAI has actually signed a very serious agreement with Microsoft few years ago, and they are somehow growing together. So Satya said, okay, we will be creating a new department, and all those guys from OpenAI will be there. So what people were doing, they started resigning from their jobs. Almost all of them resigned from their jobs and moved to Microsoft. What it means that actually some of people are saying that this was planned by Microsoft to acquire a company for free. So you don't have to buy the company because they already have IP. They just needed to transfer their employees from OpenAI to their own company. In the meantime, Microsoft has announced a new solution. We were waiting for that. Also agents, so allowing you to build your own AI and GenAI application inside Microsoft Copilot Studio. Of course, this is still quite expensive right now, but in the future we expect that it will get cheaper and cheaper. For organizations more than 300 strong, this is already available, and this is that's a revolution. That's a revolution, I can easily say, because finally, without a line of code, we can create our own applications. So similar what OpenAI has suggested with GPTs. And right now, with OpenAI moving to Microsoft, we'll see again. So the question is, who will win on the market? So it's like, of course, this is moving, this is changing, but for now, everyone agrees that somehow Microsoft is again on top. But this is not the only company that is fighting, let me say, and struggling in this AI wars, because we can name it somehow AI wars. We have first interviews in
how many
metaverse.
difficult things have to be solved.
What you can see here, these are avatars in metaverse. This is Zuckerberg. This is that's Lex Friedman, and they are doing the first podcast. So our world is not only full of GenAI and AI solutions, but also available for all of us. But also we are moving towards a new world. We are exploring a new world of metaverse.
Make this more accessible.
And it looks like
scanning with a smart.
I will just skip it later on. Of course, you will have access to all of those solutions. And of course, majority of people say this is too much for us, but still we somehow trust in the regulatory boards and regulatory offices. And actually what has happened lately, as they have met in London, UK, and EU, and China, and US. They met and they discussed what to do with AI. And look at this cartoon. We declared that AI poses a potentially catastrophic risk to humankind. For that, they were on the same page. And of course, under the table, they were saying, and I cannot wait to develop it first. So somehow we still observe a kind of Star Wars, but this time AI wars between countries, because they know that whoever will be first in AI will rule probably the world. So we have a lot of surprises for you already. I said for tonight. The first surprise that I have for you is, of course, for our wonderful learners. We have more than 900 happy students, happy managers, and the surprise for you for tonight is, and by the way, we have sold out, absolutely sold out, the last edition. Seriously, we could admit just 400 people, so we admit 400 people and no one else, because we care for the quality of the course. So the surprise for tonight is that the standard price for the course is $595. I mean the English edition of the course, 495 USD in November. This is also a very good price. And for tonight, guys, for the next 48 hours, we have the revelation for 5 USD just for the next 48 hours. So let's call it Black Friday. Of course, we will come back to this later. And what I want to say, because we'll be talking about the course later on, not now, is that majority of people say that the course has literally changed their careers. And we have hundreds of proofs for that. And of course, what people care for most is the community that is free of charge after the course. And there is a lot of opportunities to grow with us. Later on, for example, we just are launching Executive MBA AI for managers, so MBA in artificial intelligence, absolutely innovative. Maybe we'll tell you about this in a moment, but there's a lot of opportunities and next steps after our wonderful course. Right now, let me remind you, we have Alberto tonight with us, and we will be asking him a lot of questions. Of course, I will be here with you tonight as well. I already said I own a couple of companies inside in AI on several continents. I worked with a lot of companies on almost 100 AI projects. We delivered them. We advised. I'm also an academic teacher, visiting professor on many universities, and what actually I'm famous for, together with Google and with Kaggle, we created the largest community of data scientists in the world, which is right now 14 million people. That's why I traveled across the globe, and I'm bringing a lot of experience from different countries to you. Of course, AI experience. I deliver a lot of speeches. I help everyone with succeeding in AI. This is my goal. I also write books, and lately, 2 months ago, I was invited to United Nations for a science summit at General Assembly, and I was invited to discuss the problem of transforming people towards AI across the globe. We are talking about hundreds of millions of people, and of course, we are continuing our cooperation as well. And I'm saying I'm not only a ChatGPT creator, because majority of people think that if I do AI, I do ChatGPT. No, guys, it's not like that. Later on, I will show you the slides so you can connect with us. It will be an absolute pleasure to be connected with you on LinkedIn. And once again, please remember about AI questions. Just ask them. We are here to help you with them. How tonight will look like? We will do a short introduction. We already did, actually. And I will tell you within the next 10 minutes, I promise. I will be using timer for that. So I do not talk for too long. And we will discuss how to make sense of the state of AI today. Then for 30 minutes or 40. We will be discussing with Alberto. It will be an interesting discussion about what's going on right now in the world, and again, how to make the most of it for us inside your organizations and outside your organization. Then I will share with you a couple of information about the course itself, and then we'll move on to QA session. And we'll stay with you until, of course, the questions are on. So no worries, all the questions will be answered tonight. So as I said, 10 minutes. I'm using stopwatch. No, let's use the stopwatch. Maria, okay, you have 10 minutes. Guys, a lot of information right now in a very short time. What you need to remember, or what you need to know to benefit the most from the discussion that we will be having with Alberto in a moment. So what we are talking about, this all AI, is that inside your organizations, there will be, according to Gartner, 35 AI projects per year. That's a lot. In majority organizations, it's not like that yet, of course. So majority of people that I talk to, they say, no, yeah, sure, Maria, of course, but not in my department. And I have a very strong opinion about that. Opinion based on my long years of experience. The winter is here, guys. All the departments and all the processes will be transformed and changed by AI. What is the situation in companies right now? And this is very beneficial for you. Almost no one knows much about AI in company. And this is amazing opportunity, amazing trampoline, because we have dozens. Seriously, I'm not kidding you. I can give you names. We have dozens of examples with our students that are getting, after our course, they are getting AI portfolio to handle. They lead AI projects. They become advisors to ministries. They got promoted to their headquarters. Guys, these are amazing stuff. And of course, they are super smart. But the main reason, one of the main reasons, is that there's almost no one. So there is no competition. So we are talking about this GenAI and AI. Of course, ChatGPT has happened on 30th of November last year, but AI, it's not new. So you would probably ask, okay, so why we are talking about it now? Why is it so powerful? Because finally we have enough data, we have enough power, we have enough people, and it's finally bringing benefits to companies. So very fast facts and 3 myths worth knowing before we move on. Fact number one is that there are 200 AI solutions per week. So the whole landscape is absolutely crazy. 1,000 solutions, new solutions per month. So it means, and with GPTs that I mentioned previously, it will be even faster. So you need to somehow find yourself in that. The fact number two is that AI follows us. It means that it's very literal. Let me remind you about paperclip dilemma. It was an experiment when AI was asked to create or produce the maximum number of paper clips. And what it did, being very literal, at one point they tried to transfer humans into paper clips. When it was given strict directions that you can't kill humans, they were starting. The next move was towards rainforests. So again, what it means for us, that we need to know how to talk to AI, because if we don't know what we want, we will get artificial stupidity, because AI is so powerful right now. It's like genie from the bottle. It will deliver anything that you want, but you need to know how to ask, because then you will get what you ask for, but not necessarily it will be what you want, or maybe what you need, right? So fact number three, that AI is always hungry. It means it is hungry for data. AI is based on data. So we get a lot of data, we do data science magic, and we get a model, so simplified version of our of the world, which helps us understand it. So what we came up with is, if we can use the data, like transfer it to a model, then maybe we can teach our AI, a computer, we can teach it in English language. How we did it? We use a lot of information from internet, we put it on servers, and this is how LLMs were created, so large language models. Why I'm telling you that? Because this is one of the technologies that will absolutely change your business in the next year, because you can fine tune that. So the LLMs, so let me say the English speaking robot or English writing robot can just talk to you. However, they will not know your data, but you can fine tune it. So you can add to this model your data, you can blend it, and then you are getting a new trained LLM. And of course, we need to be careful about our data. So there is a lot of traps here. So we also we share information how to avoid them and how to take care of your data so they don't go somewhere that you will not have a control of. But please do remember that if we are talking about LLMs, you can train them on any set of data that you want. For example, MedPalm, Solutions by Google, was trained on a lot of information from the medical area, and this is how MedPalm 2 was created. So you can use it to, for example, help doctors or help patients. So we have no doubt that 2024 and probably 2025 will be year of LLMs. So you in your organization will be creating LLMs. All the companies will be doing that, and they will be retraining, actually fine-tuning it with your data, and you need to know how this is done. And this will be also a year of chatbots, assistant, and agents, because they are already available. You just need to know how to use them and how to manage this whole, let me say, this whole arrangement. And we have 3 myths for you. One is that AI is for techies. No, not anymore, guys. NLP, so the English language, basically, of course, any language, but natural language. Our language that I'm using while I'm talking to you, it's a new coding language, right? So you don't need the coding to give information to the computer what you want. So you can without coding, you can actually create a lot of powerful stuff. So it's not just for developers anymore. Myth number 2 is that AI will take my job. No, guys. AI took my job to the next level. So it's not like the AI will steal your job. It will be maybe stolen by people who will be using AI. So the competition is now to use AI faster than others, to get on this train and make your dream happen. Majority of Americans, they are afraid that AI will boost unemployment, and 50% of them, even more, they expect that AI will replace their own jobs, which is kind of scary, right? But somehow they do not understand that they need to acquire and they need to learn AI to make the most of it, because there are like a lot, guys, a lot of new jobs that you can enter into. But the main idea is to take your experience, add AI to that, and become an AI expert in your particular field. And this is absolutely available for all of you, because again, you don't need coding for that anymore. Myth number 3 is that AI is ChatGPT. Guys, I'm sorry to say, there are like a lot of other building blocks. This is good news, actually, because you have more blocks to play with. And so look at that, GenAI / even guns. So it's just one of 14 AI technologies, families of technologies available. So if we look at ChatGPT and people say AI is ChatGPT, look at that. AI is here. Then machine learning, deep learning, GenAI, LLMs, GPT, which is actually a name of OpenAI solution. Then GPT-4, so one of the advancements within GPT, and then we have ChatGPT, right? So we can't say that in any way that ChatGPT is AI, because AI is much broader, which gives you a lot of opportunities to grow in this field. So the situation today, I'm saying, is that we are being somehow surprised by new technologies. And people, when I ask them, okay, so what do you want to do now? They say, don't worry, Maria, I will learn ChatGPT. And I said, it's not enough. Come on, there will be another fish that will surprise you. A new technology. This world is not static, right? So the second argument that I'm giving is that the faster the organization will start doing something in AI, because there will be mistakes. There will be mistakes in the private career path and also in the corporate career path. So the faster you do that, the better for you. And the situation that we want for everyone, that we wish for everyone to happen is an absolute control over AI. So you can't wait what will happen. So you are not waiting and saying, oh my gosh, something new will happen and I can't have a peaceful weekend. No. You're waiting what will be released, so to make the most of it. Guys, I made it exactly 10 minutes and 3 seconds. So I'm super proud of myself, but I will be even more proud of you if you have asked a lot of questions. Probably you have. And I think this will be a great introduction, what I did to the discussion with a brilliant data scientist and also a magnificent manager with a great experience, of course, in AI field, in data science, Alberto Danese. So let me invite Alberto to the stage. Alberto, wasn't it too fast?
No. Yeah, I think it was full of information. And, my impression is that it's very easy to get overwhelmed by information. And in this way, to be a little bit scared by all the novelties that are in the AI world. You mentioned, and I 100% agree with you, that AI is not ChatGPT and is not GPT or OpenAI, but it's a much, much bigger world. But if you think to that specific instance, ChatGPT was released at the end of November last year, so it's close to the first birthday. And if you think of, regular product release cycles or software release cycles, they take a bit of time, while in the last 12 months, there have been so many advancements, and also like in the last 10 days or 15 days. So it's a changing world. I'm 100% agree that the world of jobs will change, but could change for the better, to be honest. And all the advancements in AI will bring a lot of opportunities for the people who manage to stay up to date, and to realize and to find their way to use AI, because I think different companies, different enterprises will leverage AI in a different way. My experience is mostly in the financial services, whether it is banks, credit information, digital payments, but there are a lot of industries out there, and they all will find their own way to use AI. And creativity is very, very important for this, because many building blocks are there to be used, whether it is a proprietary closed source solution like OpenAI, or also some open source advancements like Llama or other solutions, other models out there. But I think it's important to shed some light, also for people that do not work in the field.
What I observe, and please tell me how it works inside your organization or organizations that you observe, the companies that I work with, and these are several companies on the market, despite, doesn't matter where, and doesn't matter how large they are, but they have a common problem. If they don't have this awareness about AI, they don't have 14 technologies, 14 families of technologies, they are not aware of that. They think that ChatGPT, literally, not even LLMs, but ChatGPT is the ultimate solution, because they know it. They used it, they practiced something, like ChatGPT helped them. So it's like I'm saying, if you have one element to juggle with, so however you juggle, you will always get the same outcome, right? So you'll always get this one solution, because this is the only solution that you are aware of. And the problem is, if we have 14 or even more of them, we can actually juggle. We can impress someone and we can implement it through AI. If you have just one block, somehow it's not enough, in my opinion. What's your opinion here?
No, I agree. I agree, because it's easy also to make a small demo, to play around with ChatGPT or with the tool of your preference. and think that this small instance is actually all AI. But in this way, you are pretty limited, and in my opinion, it's not easy to make the jump from a toy example to something that goes in a production environment and that brings real value to a company. And in order to do this jump, many things are needed. But first of all, a good understanding of everything out there, not just generative AI, that for sure will have a huge impact with LLMs and the likes, but also the other components that you mentioned, the other 13 components that you mentioned are all very important, and they have a different weight for different kinds of companies.
Absolutely. But we promised that we will discuss a bit about AI management. And this is actually a new concept, because when we met with Alberto, we were like, actually, it was several years ago. You probably remember. We were organizing, and actually we met during an event for data scientists, and we were growing data science community, right? These data scientists are people who code, who can actually deliver the solutions, just like Alberto. But since I remember, we were complaining on managers that they don't understand us, right? So what's your opinion here? Because still majority of people think that AI is just for coders. It's not even about like no code or low code solutions. But do you think, like, from your perception and from your experience, like, where do you see, like, or who maybe is a good AI manager, and what benefit this person can actually bring to the company? What's your opinion here?
I think, you know what, in a company where I've worked in the past few years, there was a concept that I really love, that is the importance of being a polyglot. You speak multiple languages. I speak a couple, and I think even if the last few years saw a lot of advancements, a dramatic change in the tools that we use. I was convinced 5 years ago or 6 years ago when we first met, and I'm even more convinced today that polyglots are really the key people, not just specialists that are super important, whether they are AI specialists, developers, coders, or business specialists that maybe know their domain perfectly. But I think the key people are the ones in the middle, or the ones that start from either of the two sides and try to move, a bit in the middle, and to be able to really find a way to embrace AI in a given domain. This was important 5 years ago. 6 years ago for sure, but nowadays it's crucial, because the distance is probably getting not narrow but larger, and so it's important to keep business and technology close, very close.
So please share with us your experience. You are doing a lot of projects inside your organization. Right. So if you were like to describe like a perfect AI manager, who this person would be, what this person should, for example, know to deliver with his or her competence an AI project, what's the role, what's the main cooperation between data scientists and AI, and like, you understand me, like, we want to grasp what is the competence of a true and actually well polished AI manager.
Well, I think in my experience, there is a mythical person that knows three aspects. The business domain, obviously, is key if you want to have a real impact. Then there is the, let's say, methodological analytical mindset, and the third one is a technological understanding. But there is a famous picture that was made by Drew Conway a few years ago, and it's really the intersection of the three, the perfect AI manager. But in my opinion, it doesn't exist. it's a myth that we all aspire. Every one of us that leads a team of either of data scientists or engineers, or maybe more on the business side. We all aspire to be that man or woman that knows all the three of these aspects. I think at the end of the day, each of us has his or her own preference out of these three, but it's important to reach a good level in all of the threes, to be able to really interact with different people, so this is, in my opinion, the ideal AI manager. And then you have all the traditional, let me call them this way, managerial capabilities, like having a vision and having the ability also to separate hype from reality, because I think really AI will shape the next few years and will change the world. But there is also some hype that, it's to some extent positive because it brings a lot of interest to the topic, but it's crucial to be able to really pinpoint what matters for a specific business. So which of the 14 or more categories that you mentioned are keys for different needs?
So how it is with GenAI? Because like I hear a lot of stories, because these are stories, that for GenAI, no developers are needed anymore. So can you comment on that? What's your opinion here?
Well, I think there are many opinions, and let me put it this way: nowadays, all of them are good, because we actually no one knows the future. We saw in the last 7 days, OpenAI actually changed the CEO every day in the last 4 days or 5, and so we cannot see 1 week from now. So it's even more difficult to see even further. But what can I say? Coders, there are two main positions. Let me put it this way. One position is that that AI will actually be a skill leveler. So it will enable many people to become at least a good enough coder, let's say. And this is one stance. The other is that AI is like an exponential. So if you are good, you will become excellent. If you're already a large contributor, a good contributor, you will become great. And so it will create a huge gap between very good people that will become crazy good contributors and maybe the others. So I'm not sure. There are different point of views, but I think coders will be needed for sure when it comes to coding the building blocks. But you mentioned it in your presentation that most building blocks nowadays are made either by big technology companies or maybe by some groups, some institutions, also some profit companies. But for 95% of the companies, of the enterprise, maybe more than 95, it's up to using these building blocks and maybe to tuning them, but not building them from scratch. Also because there are many estimates on how much it costed to train ChatGPT, and I don't know the exact figure, but we are talking of millions, several millions of investments.
With Falcon, they said on how many the latest Falcon 180. They are talking, guys. We are talking about one of the LLMs that was created by Abu Dhabi, actually.
Yes.
From here and UK. So of course, like Abu Dhabi was paying, UK was giving additional input, but they have created one of the most effective LLMs right now, and they mentioned that they used almost 4,100 GPUs for that, and they were training it for. We counted it. They mentioned how many GPU hours, but it was like 71 or 72 days non-stop work of all the GPUs. So this is like, you need to have a lot of money and a lot of people to support that, to train this kind. Oh, and of course data, guys, you need to have data, right? Without data, it will like,
Yes,
you can have
absolutely.
GPUs, but you can't, let me say, teach the LM or teach the robot what you want, because you teach them with data. So what is, yeah. So
Yeah, I think for most companies it will be the challenge will be to find the perfect intersection between what we already have trained by someone else, maybe available for free as open source, or maybe with API calls like OpenAI, for instance, and find a way how to integrate these with their own documents, their own domain, all in all.
I fully agree. It's already happening. And guys, on one hand, I understand that LLMs are super cool because you can build one of those almost yourself with a few lines of code. For example, with such frames as Llama Index, or you can use the more even powerful ones, in my opinion, a LangChain, right? It's very powerful and it's very comprehensive. So, but still, it's just GenAI. So tell me, how much, to the extent that you can share, but you can share from your experience, from your company, or maybe external ones, how much the large companies are using GenAI already in comparison to other technologies, AI technologies, of course.
Well, I think AI technologies, it's a weird expression, but let me call this traditional AI, as opposed to Gen AI. Let's say traditional AI is part of many companies, of many large companies, in also some key areas, let's say. I won't disclose too many details, but for instance, I work in digital payments. There are many different use cases for AI, for traditional AI. And you mentioned in one of your slides the fraud prevention, for instance, and fraud detection is one of the traditional use cases. And okay, there is still a lot to do also in the traditional AI world, in my opinion, on the different layers, on the data layer, on the technological layer, and not only in the algorithmic one. But I think most companies have at least a few use cases in production nowadays. GenAI, it's a completely different matter, because I think many of us, including myself, we are using some GenAI tools that may be also embedded in solutions, like to have an automatic transcription, for instance, of this chat that we are having right now. This could be an example, but this is like a almost off-the-shelf use case of GenAI. I think there is value in productivity, for instance, in traditional productivity, having maybe drafts of documents, of emails, stuff like that. But these are general purpose use cases. And I think many of us, we are experimenting and already using it a little bit. What I think it's in the making for many companies, but not close to production level for most, is really having GenAI fine-tuned to specific business problems that are maybe existing in some domains and not in others. I think, the one intermediate use case could be having the ability to really interact with a huge amount of documents, internal documents. That is something that can be effectively done with GenAI and is in the making in many companies. But then you have really business-specific use cases that still needs to be addressed. So a lot of interest right now at different levels, at CEO level usually. But I think at the moment, many standard use cases, general purpose, and a lot of research, a lot of activities on the custom ones.
Yeah, I fully agree. That's my observation as well. The main change that I noticed in the last 2 years is that finally organizations and managers, and owners mostly, they understand that there is no other way, and they start transforming themselves in AI. And to be honest, don't necessarily know how to do that, because like they heard something about data, they heard something about digitalization, they heard something about algorithms and Gen AI additionally, but actually how to do the transformation, not necessarily, because this is like the whole concept of changing the organization towards something else. I
Yes.
know that one of the elements, chapters of your book is about that.
Yes.
So if you could comment and share with us a couple of your observations, that would be
Yes.
lovely.
There is also, let me put it this way, there are a lot of, let me call them boring activities, because having your data infrastructure in place, for instance, and correctly managed, is something that is fundamental for all kinds of AI. For some general purpose use cases, maybe having, again, the transcription or the translation of a document, stuff like that, you don't really need huge investment on that part. But I think the value really lies in custom use cases that are not easily generalizable. Also because general purpose use cases, most of the time you are, let's say, buying them off the shelf by some big technological companies. There is
You
no
need to know how to choose them, right?
Yes, you need to choose. You need to know how to choose them, because you have to find your company of choice with attention. Also, because we saw with OpenAI that is the largest, let's say, AI boutique, that crazy things can happen overnight, literally. So when you are trusting maybe a small startup, you have to be careful, in my opinion. But I think really the value lies on the customization. And I circle back to the creativity part that you mentioned, because customization requires deep business understanding, and then obviously the skills to implement GenAI in a specific business process. I also see that there are some questions.
Yeah,
In the comments.
let's move to them. Okay, good. Okay, guys, we will be moving on to your questions. Yes, let's start with the first one from Be Independent. Hello and welcome. I want to implement ChatGPT like app for internal use in my company. Llama 2 hosted on private server versus a service provided by Microsoft on Azure. Can you quickly describe pros and cons of each? So we can guide you a bit. Of course, we will not be disclosing any information about, or let me say advisory, because this is very important not to advise, because we don't know your company and we don't know your data. This is kind of important, because depending on how much data you have and what kind of model would you like to create. Actually, you said ChatGPT like app for internal use, but for what exactly? To be honest, if you have proprietary data and or data that is super secure, it's commonly, I'm not saying that in all of situations, but commonly suggested that you take Llama or something similar that you can install on your, let me say, on premise, and keep safe, like keep your data safe. They probably will ask Alberto how they do it inside their organization, to the extent, of course, that he can share, because they have a lot of financial information, right? And if it's like, if you are talking about Microsoft Azure, like I would say that it's quite expensive. And again, this is a cloud, so I'm not sure if you can use cloud, because some organizations they just don't do that. So there are like definitely advantages and disadvantages of each. But right now, solutions provided by Microsoft, they are similar to the ones that you can have from OpenAI, right? Which gives a lot of advantage, especially after last announcements. So it gives you, let me say, broader opportunity and availability to connect with additional solutions. So it's not just an LLM, let me say. And again, you can use other solution than Llama to create an app for internal use. And of course, you can also find some solutions that you can chat ready solutions that you can train. But coming back, and of course asking Alberto about your opinion, and maybe sharing your information, actually your experience, how you handle very private data.
Yeah, I think there are so many questions inside this single question, because also, I mean, there are many things to evaluate, and I really cannot talk of all of them. But I think there are many trade-offs when evaluating between hosting something and managing something by yourself in a private server versus using some managed services. All of the things that you said, Maria, are are spot on, in my opinion, on the topic. I would add another one, that is you need to find a good balance between explicit cost of maybe calling some APIs, using a service provided by someone else, versus hiring skilled, in this case, engineers for sure, that take care of your Llama 2 or whatever is your model of choice. So I think it's really a trade-off. There is also a lot of many companies are fighting over talents nowadays, and so there are all the things, many things to consider. If you are in Europe, there is a certain regulation, and maybe you are limited towards moving some data outside of your infrastructure. So many things to consider, but I would keep the consideration on the talent as probably the first one, because it takes talented people to manage on premises or in a private environment a model like Llama 2 or whatever. And also, there are so many advancements that maybe in 2 months Llama 2 will be superseded completely by a different model. And if you need a team to take care of this, you have to be properly staffed, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely true. Thank you for highlighting the resource aspect of this case. Okay, so we have another question from Be Independent. What specific actions in your day-to-day responsibilities are you automating for optimizing thanks to AI-powered solutions?
Yeah, I think there are many things that I could say on this topic. I think, first of all, you have to divide two cases, where the situations where you have the so-called human in the loop and the situation where you do not. One thing is if you are providing AI solutions to your colleagues, let's say, they take care of customers, of final customers, but still it's a sort of helper for the colleagues in order to be faster, more accurate, maybe have access to information very quickly. And this is a typical example for customer care in many different ways and forms, like especially with GenAI, and still some risks of hallucinations, of let's say tricks that can be performed on GenAI tools. Nowadays, I think you want to be 100% sure to, let's say, not to end up on newspapers because your chatbot, fully managed, said something wrong. In the best case, wrong, but in worst case, you could have all kinds of problems. So, circling back to the question, I think human in the loop, helping colleagues being faster, typical example, customer care. On the other hand, AI solutions that really take care end-to-end, they are maybe in some situations, some scoring models, like fraud models that can maybe have some latency requirements, and they are really in the best interest of the company as well as of the customer, like preventing frauds. In this case, especially if you are in low latency, you don't even have the time to have a human in the loop in some situations. Yeah, this could be two examples.
Maybe a couple from my end. Actually, what is kind of easy, because we are not talking about very advanced solution, because I'm running a much smaller company than Nexi is, right? Because Nexi is huge. How many employees do you have roughly? How many?
I would say I'm not really up to date with the latest numbers, but let's say 10,000.
What is it, like 5,000 people at least?
10,000 in Europe.
10,000, right? I'm running a company that is much smaller. Just take out a couple of zeros and it will be my company. And actually, what we need to do is we need to use the technologies that that first of all we understand, right? So we use always solutions like ChatGPT, but never with our clients' data nor our own that are private. We use all sets of optimizations, let me say, like, for example, simple solutions like Zapier, or connecting solutions with, applications with each other, connecting with Airtable, training. We are starting to train our own LLMs, small LLMs, really, but it's already helpful. Right, it's already helpful, either internal, or we are starting to work on external as well. That would be useful. For example, for our students, to answer them the most common questions, right, that they are asked, but we guarantee them that they are absolutely up to date, and we will be using a RAG architecture for that. So retrieval solution that allows you not to train the model, right, or not to retrain the model, but to use some kind of this is like the solution, guys, for really lazy people. If you if you don't want to retrain your model, your LLM, just use RAG solutions. So you put information that of course are structured, and you put them into your model to make your LLM work basically better and faster. But there's a lot of solutions that can be used out of the shelf, and they are not necessarily, to be honest, they are not in alpha solutions. They are in betas, which means to give you an example, we are talking about all the agents. We are playing with agents starting from March this year, and I know that for majority of people, agents is something that happened right now with GPTs. But to be honest, we knew about it. We explored it much earlier as a company as well. So it's also spotting wonderful solutions, sometimes in beta, so you don't have to pay for them. Just don't put very touchy data into that, of course.
I think, Maria, sorry, I think RAGs are really the solution for lazy people as well as people without a deep pocket, because probably it's this is one of the key elements of RAGs, that you do not need to retrain huge models, so that would really end up in a huge bill with your cloud provider, let's say.
True, and you can do it on your own. So actually, RAG solution is RAG architecture is easy enough to, I don't want to say to be done at home, but yeah, we can say you can do
for many use cases, it's
yeah. Okay, let's move on to another question. The next one is from Mateusz. Maria says that 2024 will be the year of chatbots. I'm working in companies using chatbots for more than 4 years. Should we expect any huge changes in? Or maybe I will provide a short comment, and I will ask Alberto to answer that. Actually, what I meant is that for companies that are not working on chatbots yet, it will be a year for them, mostly because this is finally super available. You can just install it to your website, as simple as that, for small money. You can train it in an easy way. So you can put a lot of documents. They don't need to be very structured, and the chatbots and the solutions language solutions will understand them and will be able to provide answers based on the data that you have. So what I mean is that for majority of companies, it was not available until now. Right now, it's easy enough and cheap enough, exactly as Alberto said, that they can finally do it. So each company has a lot of information about, for example, questions from their clients. So just having a small and small chatbot trained or retrained with the information from the last years, from discussions with the client, it's already a progress. But what I can see is happening right now is companies with data, but they need to have data. They train LLMs and they start selling them. So this is that, like, the main change that I will see. They are not doing so. Companies will not be training or retraining the models for themselves. So they will be training it for themselves, and they will be renting it, or they will be subletting or selling it to other companies because they have the data and they've trained it first, which will be amazing business. To give you an example, one of the companies just took free data available to everyone, public data, but not everyone knows that they are available. They put it on into an LLM, and they are now selling it to electric plants. And electric plants are buying it because they are saying, oh, cool, this is wonderful solution. We don't have to build it anymore. We will not pay you a lot of money, but still for the company that created it, it's a good business.
Yeah, if I may add just a small thing is that, chatbots have been around for a while, but I think till a few months ago, it was very difficult to train a chatbot on maybe 10,000 documents of your company. So I think they will change a lot. They will improve a lot. There is always the hallucination problem, to be honest, to be 100% solved, and it's not. If you want a chatbot that is really customer facing, so without the human in the loop, as I mentioned before. But I think the advancements are real in the chatbot world.
So what do you think about hallucinations? Because you mentioned it already second or third time. Can we somehow avoid it?
Yeah, it's, first of all, there have been a lot of advancements in the last few months. I can tell you personal experience of an hallucination. A friend of mine, actually, a colleague of mine, during the first few months of ChatGPT, asked ChatGPT about my bio and my biography. And there are some information available, whether it is on Google or LinkedIn or whatever. And ChatGPT started really hallucinating badly because it started saying that I was a computer engineer, as indeed I am. But then it started saying that I got a PhD in some city in Italy, and that I worked for some companies where I never worked, actually. But it was, let's say, a realistic biography for an head of data science, but not real. Realistic, but not real. And things have changed a lot. There have been many guardrails put in place. But in my opinion, you cannot even accept a 0.1% risk of having your agent, let's call him agent, tell bad things or make mistakes. So I think it's still not solved. Then maybe for some use cases it may be acceptable, but if you're asking, in many use cases, in my opinion, it's not. And they can be tricked also, chatbots based on GPTs and stuff. So it has become a lot of work has been done, and a lot of work will be done in the next few months for sure.
Yeah. Actually, I attended as one of the speakers a keynote last week on a conference, and we were discussing why hallucinations. Guys, please be aware that GPTs and LLMs basically were created not to give you certain information. Search was trained for that, right? So you have search, you get exact information. If you don't get this information, if there is no information like that, you will get a null result, right? But LLMs were trained to make you happy. So to make you satisfied with an answer, not necessarily correct answer, but to make you happy with an answer. This is how the model was trained. So actually we shouldn't complain with hallucinations, because we should be happy with that. And this is the main problem and understanding of the technology, that is below this, like the logic that was this solution was built with. And how you can avoid that, from our observation, if you don't have data, the model will hallucinate, right? So let's imagine that we have indefinite information inside this LLM, right? The whole internet. And we have just one source of information. Let's say they're not contradicting each other. Then it might be possible that just retrieving information would be accurate. We don't know it, because still LLMs are just, they're large, but they're small, basically.
Yeah.
And the second element, you can create an LLM and tell it, like with the parameters, you can arrange it in such way that it will be search, basically. So you will tell no creation, no creativity, zero creativity, please. If you have information, retrieve information. If you don't have information, null, right? And you can do it. However, it will be search, right? So it will not be an LLM with its creativity.
And at the end of the day, the real problem is that all the data that has been trained, that has been used to train GPT-4 or GPT whatever, is for sure not 100% correct. So it's like saying, everything that you find in the internet, is it everything true? No. So it's very difficult to have an engine, because at the end of the day, it's an engine. It's an automated engine that is always right. And also some frameworks like LangChain are able to combine the natural language understanding that GPT shows with maybe mathematical engines like Wolfram Alpha. So if you want to perform an operation, well, GPT is not really meant to perform calculations, but there are other tools. So the problem is really back to the building blocks. It's really orchestrating different building blocks.
Yeah, but first you need to understand them, right?
Yes, absolutely. And also the fine-tuning that I see in the question by the independent. Again, it's one of the ways definitely to reduce the problem of hallucinations, because you fine-tuned on, as they call it, curated documents. So you use documents maybe in your company that have been approved, that are the truth, let's say. So in this case, hallucinations will definitely decline in numbers, but certainty is not a characteristic of LLMs. That's the situation right now.
Okay, Neki is asking, is this course, is a question about the course, is this course also for those with no experience in project management and those with no tech background? I mean, can a student with no experience take this course? Yes, absolutely. We had several students taking this course, but the only request was, actually requirement from them, is the intention of work in AI in the future. Right, because they need to have a motivation to study the material. Yes, we have students, managers with years of experience in marketing, in HR, and they have zero technology background, zero. Seriously, I'm not even talking coding. They know PowerPoint and they know Excel, and they have prepared one of the best capstone projects. So the let me say the graduation. During the course, because they studied what we have taught them. The course does not require coding. It requires let me say intention to work in AI management in the future. Right, so we created it in such a way that everyone basically will benefit. However, I need to be clear: this is not a course for developers, right? Moving on to another question from MedPrime. How do you see AI in sales management? For example, market trend analyzing, product development roadmap, customer behavior. Alberto, do you want to take that?
Yes, for sure. I think um, from really my direct experience in the company I work, let me put it this way: we use AI and let's say algorithms a lot in this field. In my opinion, it would require really a long answer, but the short version is that AI is not a substitute for all of the data work that is performed from the raw data to the final result. So, for instance, in the company I work, we organize data basically in three layers. Let's call them layer 0, layer 1, and layer 2. So we have the raw data, we have the normalized data, and finally we have the data where we apply algorithms and so on and so forth. And I am responsible of the last layer. So I'm the lucky guy, let's say. But I try to be an advocate for my peers that lead the other two layers because, again, I'm lucky because it's easier to explain the final result, the final data product, let's go in this way, and the AI that's applied there. It's not easy, to be honest, but still easier than pure data work on the raw data and on the normalized data. And in my opinion, AI is not a substitute for this work. So when you work on sales data, you have to be sure that data pipelines are in place, are double checked, the data quality is enforced. And maybe AI will help in developing this. And also, for sure, it will help in developing data pipelines, data quality procedures, and so on. But it will not substitute the necessity for these layers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know your take, Maria, on this one.
That's actually interesting. Actually, AI in sales is one of the prominent AI applications. Why? You put software where it's actually needed. When you need to boost your sales, right? So the companies right now, they invest in AI in usually two aspects. One, reducing cost, because you can instantly see the change. And the second one is boosting your sales. So actually we have a lot of solutions for AI in sales management, starting with recommendation system.
Yes.
Prediction of companies or of let's say of churn among customers. Which customer will buy most probably? What is the best price for the customer? What is the best product for the customer? I already mentioned this is recommendation system, and this is like per customer. However, you can of course like do such things as teach or train your LLM to talk to your customers and prepare offers for them almost immediately, right? You can do that already on the basis of what client is asking you to do. Then you are saying market trend analyzing. Yes, absolutely, but this is more like macroeconomics, right? So you are looking at the market. Yes, this can be done. You can predict the market. This is a more tricky aspect of predictions, but yes, this can be done as well. As product development roadmap, please do remember that you can predict what products should be produced inside your organization, because the demand, you can predict the demand already quite accurately. Customer behavior, yes, of course. If you have enough information about your clients from their spendings or activity on the website, you can predict what they will do next, what they will buy, how like a lot of aspects here. So if you are asking MedPrime about AI in sales management, this is one of the prime areas where AI can actually shine. And I could mention at least 20 more applications that we delivered, or applications that I know that work. So you need to, like, if you want later on, we can suggest you a couple of sources to dig a bit deeper. But yes. Okay, cool. Then Mateusz is asking, so we will answer two more questions and then I will tell you a bit about the course. And if you have additional questions, then we will come back to it in a moment. So Mateusz is asking, what are the differences between robotization of process and using AI? Do you advise to start switching from robots to AI? Oh, interesting. Shall I start or you will start, Alberto?
I let you go first.
Okay, so I will try to be short on that. So robotization is using a robot, like a physical robot that can do, I don't know, like, you know, backflips, right? And it's like, this is robotization. So this is like an automatic arm that can cook something for you, or it can handle you, or it can bring something to you, or the Roomba robot that can clean your apartment. These are the robots, right? So the robotization is actually using robots, is the physical device, of course, powered by AI, to deliver some kind of decisions and activities for you. Probably you are asking, if you're asking about the process, robotization of process, this is more like, sounds to me like RPA. So it's like robotic process automation, which has nothing to do with physical robots. It has more to do with processes in the back office mostly. So you automate what we do like, if you, short example, if you deliver a report every week, and you do it in the same mode, you send it to the same person, gathering the same similar data from the same sources, it can be easily automated, right? Because the sequence of steps is similar every time, if not too bold to say that it's the same, right? So it can be automated. So you can yourself inside your organization, there are certain solutions like, for example, automation everywhere, or UiPath. You can use them, or Blue Prism. You can simulate or recreate the steps in the process of you making the report, and it can do it for you, right? So this is automation of the process. Another example is if, for example, a client is asking a bank to process his claim, or process his mortgage, right? So it can be almost totally automated by this kind of processes. So if you are asking what's the difference between the simple process that is exactly the same every time and AI, this is different. AI usually predicts the future and gives you more ability to play with your data, because RPA is recreating what you actually do right now. The current trend is to combine RPA with AI. So you add decision points into your RPA that are based on AI thinking, or recreating the way of thinking, how people think and how they predict and then make a decision. Sometimes RPA is not included in AI families. I mentioned them as one of the families because I still believe it's kind of smart, and we include it in the list of AI. However, the AI, please do remember, this is very broad field, right? And but the basic examples and I think differences I already mentioned. And do you advise to start switching from robots to AI? I strongly believe that for majority of companies, actually I don't believe, I observe it. The first step is usually RPA, right? But this is kind of basic. Later on, they start doing predictions, they explore the vast potential of AI. This is usually the process that I observe that works best. So if you're asking whether you start switching from, I would say not necessarily. Just keep RPA where it's like where you see it can be best used for your company's benefit, and then add additional AI technologies and families to, not necessarily to RPA, to the same process, but to additional projects and needs that you can see, that you can notice. I hope it makes sense.
Personally, I'm with you on 100%. I think AI could be used maybe under the hood to be faster and more effective in developing RPA,
Cool.
in developing robots. I think just exactly like AI is code, let's say, but can be used to create code faster, more readable, more documented, and so on. I think it can be used also to generate the robots.
And actually to automate and to optimize the process, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, cool. Okay, so the next one goes to you, Alberto. Stanislav is asking, AI in software project management, what will change? How about managing the human resources, the team morale, the team motivation, the confidence? Will AI replace the human manager here? I like it.
I feel safe. Like I feel my job is. I don't think I will be replaced in the short term, let's say. So no, I think to be honest, I think I mean AI can pose a threat, not really to the human manager maybe, but to some data scientists, some developers, especially younger ones that maybe they will feel like their work, the junior work, let's say, could be more easily automated. And so, to be honest, there will be more need for a human manager that can really keep the motivation high and boost the morale. So I think even if like a chatbot can show some form of empathic behavior, let's put it this way, and say some nice words, but I think there will be no AI substitute for human managers. That's my point of view. I don't know, Maria, yours.
I do not agree completely. Finally, we don't agree on something. Guys, I always quote a simple math. If we believe in automation, it means that some of the simple jobs, right, will be automated. So if a manager right now is managing, let's say, 200 people, some of those people, low level, most probably, will be automated. So if we introduce automation, then the manager will not have 200 people to manage, but 100, right? So if the manager, like, think how the company is thinking right now. So if the manager was able to handle 200 people, and now we exchange 100 people for a robot, then maybe let's combine two managers, fire one of them, because still he or she will have 200 people plus a robot.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
No, this is, guys, this is like just a perspective for you to take into consideration. This is not necessarily an obligatory situation that will be happening in companies, right?
That's a good point. My answer would be that the 100 people that do not get fired because they do the, let's say, high-level work will be empowered and will be even more productive with AI. And so, I mean, it will not be possible for the same manager to manage 200 people of all levels and then manage 200 of superhumans, let's say, and a little bit androids. So maybe a manager will manage a smaller number of people. This could be also a possibility.
True.
But that's a good point. I mean, AI is also a way to automating actually some jobs. So we will see. We will see.
The only thing I have absolutely no doubt about is that and that managers will need to understand AI because they will be managing not only people but also robots, and they will be implementing AI inside their departments and processes. And they need to know how this is done. So it will be a hard requirement from the, let me say, managers of the future. And please do remember, we are not talking about a very far future. We are talking the next 1 year, 2 years. It will be a requirement from a manager. If a manager will not be able to automate or to answer the question how your processes or how your project or how your department can be transferred or benefited by AI, this is already happening. So right now, managers, that's why we help them to transform towards becoming an AI manager. So what they already know plus AI. For that, I have no doubt.
Me too. I think it's not a choice, really. It's something that has to be done.
Yeah. Okay, cool, guys. I don't see any other questions here. So if you have additional ones, please put them here, and I will share with you for the next 5 minutes. I will share with you a couple of information about the course itself. And yeah, but I promise it will be very, very quick. So guys, the course that we are talking about is called AI for Managers, and it's like we like now right now we'll share with you the link to the course. And once again, let me remind you, we have a surprise for you with absolutely a record price, 445 USD for just the next 48 hours for people who attended and who signed up for this particular webinar. And people who took this course, they are coming back to us, and these are dozens of examples, dozens. So they get a promotion, they get a raise inside the organization. Even during the course, they don't even have to wait 7 weeks. They become AI project managers. They're leading already projects. In the last week, I got 4 pieces of information from people who told me, okay, because we graduated from the course, we became AI portfolio leaders in our organization. What now, Maria? What now should we do? Right? We already know how to handle projects, but we will need the support, and this is what community is for, and our help after also after graduating from the course. So some of our members and graduates, they started their own AI startups. They got invited as advisors to government bodies. They are getting a dream job because they told us that because of that they could move to another company that required AI. They were moved to headquarters. So some of our graduates, they moved to another country. They very much wanted that, but they were not given a chance before they learned AI, and the list goes on. So once again, the course is for almost everyone. You don't need to have any background in technology, absolutely no coding necessary for that. And the course allows you to have like different types of activities for the best experience in learning. So you get recordings before the classes that happen every week, actually twice a week for 5 weeks. So you get recordings in English to prepare you what will happen during live classes. They last a couple of hours in evenings, so you can do it after hours. Then we get sessions with best practices and Q&As. So if you have any questions, you can come to the best practices and Q&A session that happens every week as well. We have guest sessions. We also prepare homework for you, food for thought. You can do it or you don't need to do it. This is not obligatory, but it expands your horizons and your knowledge within AI. There is an exam and there is a capstone project, and you get a special diploma, a certificate that is recognized across the globe because it's certified by certain authorities. So we have a list of guests. One of them actually is Alberto Danese, whom you met today. They are leading some of the classes, and they come as guests and share their knowledge. There are 2 other grandmasters, including Konrad Banachewicz and Andrada Vulpe. So now we are starting the second edition of the English-speaking edition. It will start on 29th of January. It will last 5 to 6 weeks, plus 2 weeks for delivering a capstone project that is very hands-on. So you learn how to do and how to actually deliver, how to manage AI, how to manage AI projects for the future. And we are starting our 4th edition of Polish course. I mean, in Polish, it's exactly the same course, but in different languages. We start on 19th of February. Again, I'm quoting in Polish language because we assume that only Polish-speaking people will sign for that. It's again 5 to 6 weeks plus 2 weeks for the capstone project. And actually, we meet twice a week in the evenings, on Tuesday and Thursdays, or on Monday and Wednesdays. And we have like 5 weeks full of work, full of live sessions, additional tasks, then the exam, then the capstone, and throughout the process, throughout the project, you are being supported, of course, by us, by our team. And let me tell you, like the main value of this course is that it's delivered live, right? It's not pre-recorded. Some parts are pre-recorded, but most of it, it's live, so we can interact. And I can answer, because I'm leading the class. The class, so I can answer all your even detailed questions. So if you could, I strongly recommend for you to visit the website. There is a lot of information here, mostly about the course, the modules. You can watch a short video mentioning what Elephant AI has changed in our graduates' life. So it's kind of awesome. You can watch a couple of additional videos here, quotations. You can watch additional material and additional feedback, explanation of how the course works. Also, the reviews, the feedback that we have gotten, detailed explanation of the modules, what you will exactly learn, a couple of information about myself, and of course about the guests. And additional feedback, additional recommendations and reviews. It's quite long, and there will be even more, because people like our course so much that they just sign up for this kind of testimonials, because they want to share what they have learned with the world, and they want to recommend it to their peers, right? So the 495, it's the official price for November. It will end in a couple of days. However, for you especially, the price is lower, 445, but only for 48 hours, and you have 14-day guarantee. So after starting the course, you can check it out. If you don't like it, you can return it without giving any information. To give you the rate, during the last cohort that we are running just now, for 400 people that we enrolled, 2 of them resigned because they said that something happened in their private life, and they will not be able to attend this time, but they want to come back and doing it for the next edition. So we actually got zero returns, to be honest, which makes us absolutely proud of our team, because we are doing it for you, right? And we are including all the feedback, and maybe because of that, the course is so awesome. So I wanted to come back to you. Sorry, with a couple of additional information. Let me remind you, you can check the reviews and feedback, because this is how we actually convince everyone to come to the course. So we do not convince you by saying that this is amazing, this is great. No. Check what others are saying. Check on LinkedIn. Check on the website. Just look take a look at what the course has changed in our graduates' life. And after the course, of course, the community of alumni is waiting for you. It's called Elephant AI Professionals. Sometimes we meet in person, but for most of the time we meet online, and we do a lot of not-for-profit projects to give you an opportunity to do a hands-on AI project to put into your portfolio. And for people who want to continue their education, we have several paths. One of them is executive MBA in AI with an absolute record price this time. So absolute record low price, right? If you would have any doubts about whether where the record comes from. So our community gives you an opportunity to take part in several projects, and we are helping to find you a job if you want, or we support you in building your career path. We have AI innovation hubs that work on regulations and suggestions on best practices of AI implementation. There is a lot of networking, in-person meetings, speaking opportunities, because we are showing off as an elephant AI team, not as us, but as our graduates, because this is our strength. And to give you an example, Rafał created, he's a developer, but he's also a singer, and he created an AI music and AI lyrics. And during one of our meetings, in-person meetings, he sang to the automatically created music. So we always say that what Elephant AI is doing is not only in education. We strongly believe that we are making a dent in the world, as Steve Jobs was saying, because we believe that with AI education, good AI education, and well-educated AI managers, our world is simply safer. So we will be seeing each other in December. There will be already 1,000 of us, and we expect that within 6 months there will be already 3,000 of us from different countries, from different continents, and speaking in different language, because we are very much expanding and growing. So guys, if you once again, surprise, let me remind you, for the next 48 hours, a great price for you. We'll share it also via email. But the best way is, of course, to sign up if you are interested, to sign up now. If you have any questions that we could answer now, that would be a good time to ask this question. Okay, I can see a couple of questions. Matt Prime is asking, how do you explain the term prompter? I met some information that according of AI, we have to learn to be a prompter. I think that we are discussing the prompt engineer, right? The prompter is a device that you put in front of you that delivers a text that you should read in front of the camera. But the prompt engineer, or person who is using prompting, yes, this is the somehow we expect that this will be one of the next career paths. Do you want to comment on them?
That, I think. I first time I see the word prompter, but I think it's prompt engineer. Really, so find the right way to ask things to an LLM, to a large language model. I think it will be. I'm not sure it will be a profession. I think it will be for sure part of the skill set of many professions, like to be able to interact efficiently with an LLM. Like we are used to interacting efficiently, hopefully, with humans, and we have to learn how to ask things also to large language models.
Yeah, very true. Actually, prompt engineers, I put it on slide, are in States and in Canada. They're starting to earn crazy money, Alberto. Seriously, they are earning up to $300,000 per year just for prompting. I mean, like just for prompting. Guys, it's like if you are using prompting, you are requesting the computer to do something for you within one of the tools, GenAI tools. And to be honest, if I'm prompting myself, my solutions in comparison to my employees' solutions are much worse, because they spend a lot of time prompting, and they know how to structure the question that they are asking the LLM, right? And they're much better because they spend a lot of time and they know the tips and tricks. So they know how to, let me say, ask the computer how to do more, let me say, advanced stuff, right? So if you, for example, enter a Meet Journey Discord, you will see amazing pictures, but the pictures, the prompts are not one line. The prompts are usually several lines long, and they require they require like certain scripting of the question that you are asking to LLM, right? So right now there is a difference between people who are asking one sentence and people who can prompt. So they can use the standard language, but in such a way that they deliver a lot of details, a lot of information. They ask this question in a certain way and they get better answers, right? So this is prompt engineering. And some people say that this will be a certain path, career path, and separate position to be a prompt engineer, or as Alberto is saying, and actually I agree with you almost 100%, is that that it will be embedded. I mean, the ability and this knowledge and skill of using prompts skillfully will be embedded in AI managers, and AI employees of the future requirements. However, it will be spread because you are talking with different prompts to different tools. Please remember about that. So it's not like the same prompts exactly will work for several tools exactly in the same way. So I expect that if the person will be using one or certain set of tools, they will need to know how to talk to this machine to get what you want, right? Okay, good. There is a question asked in Polish. Is there will there be a similar discount for people who want to sign up for the Polish course? I don't know. I can't guarantee. Maybe yes, maybe not. What I suggest is to attend the next webinar, because we usually, I can't promise that, but we usually prepare something special for the participants of the webinar, and there will be a next webinar in Polish beginning of December. So I suggest, Bartek, that you send a request. You can always use this email that we'll just share right now, contact@elephant.ai. Elephant.ai.io, and then you can sign up. You can be sure to be signed up for the next Polish webinar. Okay, so the next question is where to find the info about MBA AI for managers. So I suggest that you drop us an email at mba@elephant.ai.io. You can send us a request with all the questions that you do have, and we'll share with you a brochure and the information that we already have. Okay, so Stanislav is asking, talking about prompt engineering, how would you differentiate prompting when talking to Google or other search engines and prompting when talking to tools like ChatGPT? What is the same and what is different? Interesting, Alberto, isn't it?
I think 30 years ago or 25 or whatever, we learned to talk to Google in keywords. So even if you can write a natural language in Google, but I mostly write keywords. Yeah, on the other hand, with GPTs in general, you really talk more like you do to a human. So with all the articles, the proper verbs, and so on and so forth. So it's a little bit different, to be honest. Even if you could use the same also with Google nowadays.
Yeah, very true. Like the main difference, as Alberto said, is the length. So, like with Google, you know that the sequence of words and the order of words, let me say, matters. So Google knows that the first word that you use in the question, let me say, or in the prompt, let me say, will be the most important, right? And then the next one, least important. With ChatGPT, it's a bit different because they understand the whole sequence of the question that you are putting there, right? So it's more complicated, and it's trying to understand what you want, and you can give several requests at the same time, something that you basically cannot do. You could, but it's like very uneasy for search engines to answer you very complicated question, while with ChatGPT they are just waiting for that. So the longer prompt it is, the better for you. The second large difference is that with prompts with ChatGPT or other LLMs, you can put the whole documents or the elements that you want to, for example, to be summarized. With search engine, not so much. Do you know solutions like that? Alberto,
No,
no.
to be honest, no. I think
Yeah.
yeah,
Use it
it's
for
the there is the expression context window. Usually, when you talk to a search engine, you use a very small, let's say, context window, a very small prompt to some extent. But in GPT, you can use really a document, many sentences, really many sentences.
Very true. So Stanislav, I hope that we answered your question and we helped you. Neki is asking about the price and the installment. Neki, the best would be to contact our team. We will share with you. We will share with you the address once again. Basically, for the discounted price, we usually don't do installments, to be honest, because it's either installments or you go with the discount. But of course, you can share the question with the team, and we'll see what can be done. Okay, good. So we don't have any other questions, Alberto. Maybe I will have the last question to you. If you could advise our wonderful listeners and participate like members of our today's evening, if you could tell them what are the suggested next steps if they are just starting with their AI career, or they are just considering whether AI career is for them.
Besides enrolling, no, I think yeah, it's important to get your hands dirty with articles, reading, really getting information from many different sources. I think the course is an excellent source. The book I published, Data Culture, is another one, obviously. But I think there are many many nice sources. There are many blogs that are really full of information, not strictly technical information. I could suggest the reading like Ethan Mollick blog that is very insightful for managers, in my opinion, and really try and stay up to date. I think it's the key, because things are changing so quickly that it's very important not to be left behind.
Wonderful. Maybe I will conclude with saying that in the AI world, it's like, just imagine. I very often I use this metaphor. It's like a train that comes to you and calls you and says, "Okay, there is a lot of space here. Jump on board." Many people do not jump on board because they say, "We don't have time. This is not necessarily, let me say, obligatory. My neighbors are not doing it yet, so maybe I will wait." And they are waiting, right? So the train comes in some time, but the train is more crowded. So again, if the person does not enroll, that does not jump on board of AI, that will come whatever you want or not. This is not a choice. This is not a choice. Seriously, guys, this is just happening. The winter is here. At one point, the train will be so stuck. It will be so crowded that there will be no space for some of the people. So I say that one of the elements that are the most crucial is to understand whether you want or not. I know that this is difficult for a majority of managers that have more than 5-10 years of experience. It's difficult for them because they need to accept that the world is changing. Whether we want or not, it is changing, but the change is necessary. So I'm teaching people that have 30, 40 years of experience, and they say to me, okay, Maria, do you know how difficult it is to come to this kind of course after 30 years when I was teaching people what should be done, but I have no clue about AI. So it's better to come to someone, for example, to you, that knows better. First thing that you need to understand and accept that the AI is here, and you need to learn it whether you want or not. So the faster you do it, the better for you in terms of, let me say, being faster than others. Because at one point with the automation that it's happening, the people who will join, who will enroll, who will jump on board faster will get a better position in this new world that is happening right now. So I would say that this is my suggestion. However you want to do it, because remember, all the information are available online. All information are for free. However, the tricky thing is that with the course is that you save a lot of time because it's already selected, and we know what to teach you and we know what to tell you to make the most of it. However, please do remember, if you don't like, for example, the course path, and you don't like the networking part and learning in such a way, that's also okay. A lot of information are available online. Then just follow us as Elephant AI, because we publish a lot of information and more wonderful workshops and webinars with such brilliant data scientists and grandmasters as Alberto will be coming soon. Alberto, thank you so much. It was a lovely evening. I'm so proud to be working with you. Seriously.
Thank you, Maria, for having me here tonight.
It was wonderful, and I cannot wait, because I know that you will have a session for our students in 2 weeks as well. They can't wait already. I assure you. So once again, guys, thank you so much for your presence, for your time, for your attention, for your questions. Stay with us. Ask questions. You have all the emails that you need, and I strongly advise to start with AI, however you plan to do it, and we are here, of course, to help. So once again, thank you so much, and have a lovely evening. Greetings from Dubai and greetings from
Italy.
Okay, have a lovely evening. Bye.
Bye.